Hello everyone, this is Savinash, lecturer in Zoology, MR College, Vijayanagaram. In my last class, I discussed the history of genetics. Today I am going to discuss the laws of inheritance, which means principles of inheritance which were made by Graham Johann Mendel. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the Mendel's law of inheritance. Here the first slide, which is exhibiting the Mendel and the garden. Okay, Mendel's law of inheritance. Okay, next slide. Here Mendel's work on the transmission of traits. First we have to discuss Mendel and the genetics. So what is the connection? Okay, genetics is the field of biology devoted to understanding how characters or the traits are transmitted from parents to offspring, so which means the next generation. Here Mendel conducted experiments on sweet pea plant. All we know that the scientific name of the sweet pea plant is Pisum sativum. Next, he framed 7 characters. What are they? We have to observe them. Next slide. Here the 7 characters. Okay. I have made some animations in this slide. I hope you may enjoy. Okay, first character or the first trait, flower color. When we observe the color of the flower, which means all these 7 characters are related to the Pisum sativum plant. So first character of the Pisum sativum is the flower color. So the purple color, which means the flower color which is in purple, which means that is a dominant trait. So dominant character, which means it possesses dominant alleles, which means the genes. And white color is a recessive characters, which means recessive genes are present in that. Recessive alleles are recessive genes. Actually 2 alternative forms of a gene are called alleles. Generally a gene has 2 alternative forms, one recessive and second one is a dominant allele. Multiple alleles, in the case of multiple alleles it differs. Okay, next character is here flower position. The situate location of the flower. If it is axial, that is dominant trait. Here it is, just look at it. Yes, it is axial. It is in the axial position. It is on the axial position of the plant, and that is the dominant character. Axial is the dominant character, and the recessive character is terminal. So top, on the top. So it is a recessive character. Next, third character is seed or cotyledon color. Seed or cotyledon color, which is in yellow color, that is dominant character, which is in green color, that is a recessive character. Here the yellow color, it is dominant character, where it is in green color, that is recessive character or trait. Okay, the fourth character is a seed shape of the seed. If it is in round, that is dominant character. If it is in wrinkled form, wrinkled, so rippled surface, so that is a recessive character. And second one, the fifth one is pod shape. If the pod is inflated means smooth surface, that is a dominant character. Whereas it is constructed, some constructions are there on the surface, that is recessive trait or recessive character. And sixth one is pod color. If it is in green color, that is dominant character. Just observe it. If the seed color is yellow, contrastingly the pod color is green, so we can get if the pod color is in green color, we can obtain yellowish sheets in it. If the yellow pod is having green colored seeds, so that is the contrasting character. Okay, this is about the pod color. And next, last one, plant size or the height or stem length. Obviously all we know that this is the prominent character of pea plant. If it is tall, that is dominant character. If is it recessive, I mean if it is short, that is recessive trait or the recessive character. Several generations were observed by the Mendel to frame all these 7 characters. So first one is a flower character. Flower character, I mean the purple flower, which expresses the dominant character. So white color, recessive. And second one, flower position, axial, dominant, terminal, recessive. And seed color, if it is yellow, that is dominant. If it is in green color, that is recessive. Next, seed shape, round, dominant, wrinkled surface, recessive. Pod shape, inflated, that is dominant, constricted, that is recessive. Pod color, which is in greenish, that is dominant. Whether it is in yellowish, that is recessive. Plant size or height, stem length, which is tall, that is obviously dominant. Short, which means recessive. This is about the 7 characters of the pea plant, which were made by the Mendels, which made the foundation for the genetics. Okay, next. Principles of inheritance. Principles are the laws of inheritance. Okay, the first one, law of dominance, and second one, law of segregation, which is also known as law of purity of gametes. It's very important in our competitive examinations also. Directly it is given as law of purity of gametes instead of law of segregation. So we should observe the both terminologies and terms. With the terms we should observe. And third one, law of independent assortment. One by one we have to discuss them. First one, law of dominance. Law of dominance says that when an organism is heterozygous for a trait, which means it has 2 different alleles for that gene. Previously I have discussed that a gene which contains 2 alternative forms, the 2 alternative forms of a gene which are alleles. So the allele that is expressed is dominant one. Definitely dominant character will be expressed in the generation. So there is no need of presence of the 2 copies of dominant alleles. Only single dominant allele is enough to express the dominant character. So that's why the particular character is expressed by a gene, which means two copies of dominant alleles or a single copy of a dominant allele is are enough to express that particular character. Whether we want to okay, the allele that is expressed is the dominant. Okay, but if we want to observe the recessive character, definitely it should have two recessive alleles. And next slide. Okay, here we should observe the generations and also the checkered board or the Punnett board. Okay, parents first were taking homozygous dominant tall plant which is crossed with the homozygous recessive short plant. Here the homozygous, which means the two copies of the alleles are same, which means here capital T, here small t, both are same, but here dominant alleles and recessive alleles. Okay, gametes always possess a single allele. Here the capital T and small t. So the fusion form, these both fusion form capital T, small t, which means heterozygous. Why it is heterozygous? Means the two alleles are not same. One is a capital T and other one is a small t. But the character is, students, tell me, what is the character? Dominant character will be expressed in the F1 generation, because already we have discussed what is that the character which is expressed by two alleles or a single allele, that is dominant character. Okay, here the tallness is the dominant character which is expressed in the F1 generation, but the alleles are not in same. Okay, next, interbreeding. The heterozygous two plants are crossed in the F1 generation, then will obtain the F2 generation. Here the gametes are capital T and small t. Here also capital T and small t. When these capital T fuse and form two capital T, which means homozygous tall plant. It is a homozygous tall plant. Remember one thing, the genotype is a homozygous. The phenotypic expression is same for both homozygous and heterozygous. Okay, so here how many tall plants are here? This one and second one and third one. So the character is tall. These three express tallness. That's why we obtain three tall plants in the F2 generation. Only one single plant which is with the short in size. So 3:1. Here 3 tall, 1 short. Okay. Okay, we may not see properly that one. That's why I am back. Okay, here 3 tall plants and 1 short plant. So that is a phenotypic ratio. If we consider the genes, the alleles, they may vary, because capital T, it is only 1. So 1. Capital T and small t, there are 2 in number. So 2. Here small t is only 1. So in the phenotypic expression we have three tall plants, only one short plant. That is phenotypic ratio and external appearance. So three tall plants, one short plants. That is the monohybrid cross ratio. So in the monohybrid cross, the ratio, the phenotypic ratio is 3:1 according to Mendel. Okay, and capital T is only 1, capital T small t 2, and small t 1. So 1:2:1, this is the genotypic ratio, alleles. Okay, so the phenotypic ratio of the monohybrid cross is 3:1 according to Mendel, whereas the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Always remember. Okay, we must remember these are the basics of the genetics. And next, okay, next we'll observe already all these we have discussed. Okay, next, here the second law of inheritance. First one is a law of dominance. So the importance of the dominant allele is discussed in the law of dominance, whereas in the law of segregation it is slightly different. So during gamete formation, the alleles for each gene segregate, which means a separation. Segregation means a separation from each other, so that each gamete carries only one allele for each gene. All we know that because of the meiosis, only the cells which are having haploid set of chromosomes, all the somatic cells are having diploid set of chromosomes. All we know that. So any species, but the thing is, in the case of reproductive cells, only single set of cells, which means haploid set of cells are haploid set of chromosomes are present in that because of the meiosis. So in the reproductive cells are nothing but the gametes. They carry only one allele for each gene. The law of segregation of genes applies when two individuals, both heterozygous for a certain trait, are crossed. For example, hybrids of F1 generation. In this, the law of segregation of genes applies when two individuals, both heterozygous for a certain trait, are crossed. For example, hybrids of F1 generation. Okay, we observe in the next. We shall observe in the next slide. Here, the offspring in the F2 generation differs in genotype and phenotype, so that the characteristics of the grandparents P generation regularly occur again. We'll see in the F2 generation. So in a dominant recessive inheritance, an average of 25% are homozygous with the dominant trait, 50% are heterozygous showing the dominant trait in the phenotype genetic carries, 25% are homozygous with a recessive trait and therefore express the recessive trait in the phenotype. Okay, all these points gradually you may understand when you observe the punnet board at the checkered board. Okay, here the checkered board in the F2 generation. For example, we have seen in the law of dominance. We have seen in the law of dominance, that is here homozygous tall plant, dominant tall plant, and homozygous recessive tall plant. Only one gene or the allele enters the gamete. Here also same. So we obtain heterozygous dominant tall plant in the F1 generation. Then we cross with the same heterozygous two dominant tall plants. Then we'll get F2 generation. Will get 3 tall plants and 1 short plants. I have already discussed in the law of dominance. That is phenotypic ratio, 3 tall and 1 short. Genotypic ratio is 1 capital T, here 1 capital T, small t, 2 small t. So the process is same in the law of dominance and law of segregation. In the law of dominance, we have mentioned the importance of the allele, and the number of alleles which express the particular character. Definitely one character is expressed by one or two alleles, that is a dominant allele. If a character must be expressed with the presence of 2 alleles, definitely 2 alleles are must to express one character, that the alleles are recessive alleles. So that is the importance of the law of dominance. Here we are discussing the law of segregation, separation, which means during the gamete formation only one allele enters the gamete. Segregation, which means separation, isolated, they are separated. The pair of alleles are separated, capital T. Okay, here capital T. So 2 copies are here, but they are separated during the formation of the gamete. Only one capital T enters the gamete, which means gamete is a reproductive cell. Meiosis takes place here. Okay, and that is what we have discussed in the law of segregation. Here the Punnett square or the checkered board. Okay, for one of Mendel's pea plants experiments, self-fertilization, which means 2 heterozygous plants were crossed in the F1 generation to obtain F2 generation here. Okay, next slide. Slides are coming one by one. Okay, students, this is very important in your academics and also competitive examinations. So you have to listen to these concepts carefully. So once you just observe the concept, when you grasp the knowledge of these laws, definitely no need of any book. The concept, you should grasp the concept only. If you know the inner soul of the concept, definitely we should understand anything easily. So basic concepts are essential to learn and know things better. Okay. Here already we have discussed this one. Okay, next slide. In this slide, another important person, say T.H. Morgan, Thomas Hunt Morgan. Okay, to understand the mechanism, of segregation more clearly, we can consider an original experiment of T.H. Morgan on Drosophila. Okay, so students carefully observe this. Mendel conducted experiments on pea plant, whereas T.H. Morgan, he conducted experiments on Drosophila. Because why these both the scientists took these pea plant and Drosophila? Because it is very easy to conduct experiments like these small species, which means number of chromosomes are the count is low, because Drosophila is having 4 pairs of chromosomes, 8 in number. So in the same way, 14 chromosomes, which means 7 pairs of chromosomes are present in pea plant. So number, so it is easy to conduct experiment. And also T.H. Morgan thought that the life cycle of Drosophila is also very small. So that's why he chose Drosophila for his experiment. Next slide. Okay, here the parents, same concept, parents, gametes, parents. Here the parents, long-winged homozygous Drosophila was crossed with the vestigial winged homozygous Drosophila. Okay, the dominance is expressed by 2 copies of capital. The recessive character is expressed by small l. Okay, here these both are crossed. Here capital and small l. Then we have discussed earlier. What we have discussed? Only one LL enters the gamete. Here, only one LL. So capital L is small l. They fuse and form what? Capital L and small l, which is heterozygous. But the character is dominant character, which is long-winged Drosophila. It appeared in the F1 generation. So it is same as the concept of the Mendel. And then in the F2 generation, when he crossed 2 heterozygous long-winged Drosophila, he obtained capital L, small l, 2 capital small l's, and small l. Here also same ratio, that is 3 long-winged Drosophila and 1 vestigial winged Drosophila. Phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Genotypic ratio is same, capital L, 2 capital small l, 1 small l. 1:2, 2:1. Genotypic ratio is also same. Test cross. We have to discuss the test cross. What is test cross? Here test cross, which means okay, firstly we should discuss the back cross. Okay, back cross. Here the back cross, the back crossing is crossing of a hybrid, capital T and small t. Hybrid, which means heterozygous, capital T. Okay, here back cross. Back crossing is a crossing of a hybrid, a capital T and small t, with one of its parents, capital T or small t, which means homozygous parents, or an individual genetically similar to its parents in order to achieve offspring with a genetic identity which is closer to that of the parent. Okay, which is backcross, which means in the F1 generation we will have heterozygous plant. If the heterozygous plant or heterozygous one which is crossed with the parent, I mean the homozygous dominant or homozygous recipient, that is called backcross. Okay, it is used in the horticulture, vegetables, all these, animal breeding, and also in production of gene knockout organisms. In these three, horticulture, animal breeding, and also in the production of gene knockout organisms, it can be employed. Okay, and then next slide. Here the slide. So we have to discuss backcross also. Firstly, you should observe the parents to F1 generation. Okay, here the slide. Okay, parents, common thing, homozygous dominant tall plant and homozygous recessive short plant. Okay, they both are crossed in the crossed their parents, homozygous parents. The gametes, obviously capital T and small t. These are the gametes. Then they fuse and form heterozygous, capital T, small t, heterozygous dominant tall plant. Okay, here the heterozygous dominant hybrid, which means it is hybrid. This hybrid which is crossed with either capital T, which means homozygous dominant tall plant or homozygous ratio short plant, that is backcross. Here it is capital T, one of them you have taken here, and the capital homozygous dominant parent is crossed with the hybrid plant, heterozygous plant. Then the F2 generation is with capital T, 2 capital T, and 2 capital T, small t. Here all are tall plants in the F2 generation. Phenotype expression is tallness, because one dominant allele is enough to express the tallness. So that's why here all are having at least one single dominant allele. That's why all plants are tall plants in the F2 generation. So phenotypic ratio is 1:1, and the genotypic ratio is half of the plants are with capital T, half of the plants are with capital T, small t. That's why 1:1. So phenotypic and genotypic ratios are same in backcross. Okay, next slide. It's a very, very interesting subject. Students, if you pay attention, it's very important. It is the third unit of third semester. Okay, genetics 1. So let's discuss the test cross. So back cross is a cross between the hybrid and homozygous pair, dominant or recessive parent. Homozygous dominant, that is here. Test cross. Dominant tall plants produced in F2 generation are either capital T or capital T small t genotypes. Mendel devised a sample method called test cross to know the genotype of tall plants, heterozygous dominant and homozygous dominant genotypes. Here, next slide, we'll observe them. A cross between an organism dominant phenotype with an unknown genotype. Here, interestingly, a cross between an organism of dominant phenotype here, capital T, with an unknown genotype, whether it is capital T or capital T small t, but we don't know. That is what test cross. And a known homozygous recessive phenotype. Here, a cross between an organism of dominant phenotype, which means phenotypically they are dominant, but the genotype, it is unknown. We don't know whether it is capital T or small t, we don't know, but crossed with the homozygous recessive, which means small t, is called test cross. So there is a slight difference between back cross and test cross. In the back cross, the hybrid, which means capital T small t, which is crossed with either capital T or small t, which means homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive parent, that is back cross. In the test cross, here unknown dominant phenotype is crossed with the homozygous recessive phenotype, small t, that is test cross. That is the small difference between test cross and back cross. All should remember. Tall is crossed a recessive dwarf plant if the progeny is tall and dwarf in the ratio 1:1. The tall is heterozygous, capital T, small t. If the progeny is all tall is homozygous, capital T, Okay, let us observe the flow chart of this test cross. Homozygous dominant tall plant, homozygous recessive short plant, here it is. Then we'll obtain the gametes, capital T, gamete with capital T and gamete with small t, and they fuse and form the hybrid, which is heterozygous in nature, capital T, small t, heterozygous dominant tall plant. Then here small t, homozygous recessive parent is compulsory to cross with the unknown. So it may be capital T or capital T small t. Here we are taking capital T and small t, hybrid we are taking. So capital T, small t here. So heterozygous, small t, capital T, small t. So of the plants are tall plants, half of the plants are short plants. Okay, 1:1 ratio. Here the genotypic ratio is also 1:1 because capital T, small t, 1:1, 2:2. Okay, it is about the test cross. Okay, next slide. Last law, we successfully have discussed the law of dominance and law of segregation. and also backcross and test cross. Here, interestingly, we have to discuss the law of independent assortment. In our previous slides, we have discussed the monohybrid cross, which means one character is taken. Here, two characters. Okay, third law we have to discuss now. Mendel's law of independent assortment states that alleles of two or more different genes get sorted into gametes independently of one another. So, in the law of dominance and law of segregation, we have taken only one character. So, here more than one character and two or more characters we'll discuss in the law of independent assortment. In other words, the allele a gamete receives for one gene does not influence the allele received for another gene. Here it's very, very interesting. Okay, look at once. One by one. Okay, here the slide. Okay, parents. Okay, observe students. Yellow and round. There are these are two contrasting characters. Homozygous dominant, which is expressed by capital Y, capital R. So two characters are taken in this dihybrid cross, which is called dihybrid cross. In the monohybrid cross, which I have explained in the law of segregation and law of dominance, only one character is taken in the monohybrid cross, whereas in the dihybrid cross, di means two characters are taken in this. One is yellow and second one is round. These are two characters, so two pairs of alleles or genes are present. Here also green and wrinkled. So yellow and round are dominant traits, green and wrinkled are recessive traits. Here we should observe this is gamete. So gamete it only receives one allele from the two copies. So one copy is here, capital Y. So capital R, only single copy. But the capital Y, it does not influence the capital R. So independently they express their characters. That's why the law is called law of independent assortment. Here also small y, small r. So then the gametes fuse and form the hybrid, which means the heterozygous dominant, capital Y, small r. Yellow, which means in the monohybrid cross we discussed that only one single allele which expresses a particular character, that is a dominant allele. This is what dominant allele for the yellow color. This is dominant allele for the round. Okay, so one character which does not influence the other character, independently they are expressed in the F1 generation. Heterozygous dominant, yellow and round. In the F2 generation, these hybrids, the two hybrids are crossed, capital Y small y, capital R small r, with the capital Y small y, capital R small r. Here the when we observe the F2 generation, here the checkered board or Spanish board, when we compare with the monohybrid cross, it is slightly bigger. Okay, here gametes, capital Y, capital R, capital Y small r, small y, capital R, small y, small r. Here also capital I, capital R, capital Y small r, small y, capital R, small y, small r. Okay, capital Y, capital Y. Here when these both fuse and form, so one capital Y, here also one capital Y, two capital Y's, and also capital R, two capital R. So here entirely capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R. Here also capital Y, capital R and small r. Okay, firstly capital 1, which means dominant allele should be written first. So and next one, capital Y, here small y, capital R, capital R. Okay, here also capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r and small r. Here capital Y, small y, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital Y, here small y, capital R, small r, and small y, capital R, small y, small y, capital R, small r, and here capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r and small r, small y, capital R, small r, small y and small y, here small r and small r. It is slightly difficult to understand. If we try on the paper, note it down and practice, I mean without all these, you just write the gametes and yourselves you have to write your own, then compare with this whether you are correctly writing or not. So just observe it. If you have any doubt, ask me in the comment box. Okay, okay, how many yellows, yellow and round, the phenotypic ratio, yellow and round are 9, yellow and wrinkled are 3, green and round are 3, green and wrinkled are 1. So the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. Whether the genotypic ratio is 1:2:2, 1:2:2, 4:2, 1:2:1. Okay, let's observe them without any confusion. Okay, this is the gamete. Okay, this is the gamete, the first gamete. This one is also, we should observe them. Firstly, so 2 Y's, capital R, so 2 R's. So uh, this is what? Yellow and round. Yellow and round. We obtain yellow and round. Okay. Here also the same concept. Capital Y, the gametes. Okay. Just observe them one by one. Okay. This is the first gamete. Capital YR. Okay. Here capital Y. So here we obtain capital Y, capital R. Okay. And the second gamete, which is also fused with this same capital Y, R. Capital Y, small r. Here capital Y, capital R, small r. Same capital Y, small y, capital R, capital Y, this one, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Same for all these. And if we observe for the next one, which means capital Y small r with the capital Y small r, here I mean capital Y capital R, capital Y small r, capital Y, capital R small r. Here the same direction. How many yellow color and how many yellow and round, and how many yellow and wrinkled, how many green and round, and how many green and wrinkled will be obtained in the F2 generation. Just you try and tell me, and if you have any doubt, just write in the comment box. I will explain. And another slide in my the next slide, so it is about the ratio of the dihybrid cross, which is about the law of independent assortment, 9:3:3:1. In the law of independent assortment, we have obtained 9 and round. Just a moment. Just a minute. Okay, it is loading. 9 yellow and round. Okay, here 9 yellows and round, 9 yellow and round, and 3 are yellow and wrinkled, 3 green and round, and finally 1 green and wrinkled. Okay, so the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. The genotypic ratio is 1:2:2:1:2:4:2:1:2:1. Totally 16. 9 plus 3 12, 12 plus 3 15 plus 1 16, 1 plus 2 3 plus 1 4 plus 2 6 plus 4 10 plus 2 12 13 15 and 16. This is about the laws of inheritance which were made by Mendel. Okay, last slide. There is a lot to learn. Okay, thank you one and all. Okay, this is about the laws of inheritance. If you have any doubt, just write your comments in the comment box, then I will help you. Okay, thank you one and all.